welcome to the Fathergamer podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the official first day of E3 2018. This is our first episode with the TFGP group, and we're going to be talking about the press conferences. We're going to be talking about what I saw on my first day, and they're going to ask me a bunch of questions. And let's get into E3. So, with us today, we have Ransom.
Yo, what's up?
We have Lindsey.
Hi.
And we have, by the way, welcome, Lindsey.
Thank you. Yes, I just realized that this is my first podcast
the
with y'all.
first episode, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome.
See, I realized it, and I'm half asleep. So, and then we've got Mike.
There was supposed to be questions?
Yeah. Well, there's also a question and answer session as well as a test.
Oh, dang it. Okay, I'm bad at tests.
Yeah.
Failed.
Well, yeah, failed.
Yeah, I failed already. I'm going to have to disconnect.
No.
Which means that you're not going to get recording at all.
Because we're playing a mini game right now called "How much battery life can we squeeze out of this phone before it dies?" So I'm in LA. I'm in LA right now. I've been to the convention for the last 3 days now already. Has it been 3, 4? I don't know. It's like it's all blurred.
It's been since Saturday, right?
It's like 3 or 4 days, you know.
Yeah.
We just had one on
So 4
Friday,
days.
but yeah, it's been 3 days.
Good God, it's been crazy. It's so we started off everything with EA. Actually, the very first thing I did when we landed was go to
Let's kiss the ground.
Actually, it was a really good flight, but also it was very hot. I would have hurt. But we went to EA. We didn't see the conference until after we played a bunch of games, so it was kind of cool. The conference itself, what did you guys think?
Which one?
Not much to show. It was probably my least favorite conference of all of them. You know, they didn't show too much
Honestly,
new
that's saying a lot
stuff.
this year.
And I think what pissed me off the most, not that I expected a lot from EA, they're not my top company, but what made me mad is just the lack of care for the Star Wars game. When you're showing a 20-second loop of your game footage 5 or 6 times.
It was at least 6 times, yeah.
Are you talking about Battlefront?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was Battlefront.
The Ewok thing.
Yeah, they were just showing the same clip. Like it was 20 seconds, and it looped again, and it looped again. And you could have just had a whole minute clip.
What I loved. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
What I love though is if you go back and watch the presentation, they show that Ewok clip, like you said, over and over. And the first time they show it, and he goes, "There's Ewoks." There's one guy in the audience that goes, "Whoop!" Like,
the one person that likes returns.
Yeah, Ewoks.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was George Lucas. Like he's just hanging out in the back. I made those. So,
and
is Jar Jar Binks in it?
Yeah.
No, don't get me started about it.
Misa love Ewoks.
I like Ewoks. I don't like Jar Jar. Okay?
I don't think anyone likes Jar Jar.
You know,
Misa love Battlefront 2.
Okay, so.
The funny thing is, like, you go and look, and we won't hang too long on EA, but you go and look at the press conference, and it's sad because I had hands-on time with Anthem. Mm-hmm. And the press conference, some people were really jazzed by it, but to me, it was okay. Like, it was kind of dry. And then you go in, you go in and do the hands-on, and it was like a 20-30 minute demo, and they neglected to tell you all these really cool, like, intricate little details, like when you're flying you've got the booster rockets on. They can overheat if you don't have certain things leveled up on
Oh
them.
wow,
Oh.
And you
Nice.
can fly. You can fly through waterfalls to cool it down.
nice.
Oh.
Or the
See,
water
yeah.
underground. Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
that's
that's something
cool
that
stuff.
yeah, there was a lot that was missing.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that mission segment unedited. I understand that
Yeah.
those are probably 30-minute.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Y'all
see
did
it
that
completely
whole.
in it.
You did the whole thing unedited.
The whole
yeah.
thing.
That video,
Okay,
And-
that's good.
that the Anthem video was also looped 3 to 4 times.
Yeah. Well, I understand when they're talking, they have to have they want to show explosive stuff and all that kind of stuff. But the problem was they didn't show the charm of that game.
Mhm.
They didn't show that the fact that it's basically Mass Effect, Destiny, of course. I mean, it has a heavy Destiny in it, but Destiny is influenced by D&D and other stuff. If you really look at it, like the mechanics, like you've got this particular kind of character, you've got this particular kind of character,
Right.
So I mean, those archetypes are already there. But then you've got other things from EA, like other little games, other little stuff you can see, and it's like it's the good parts. It's like Ubisoft does with some of their games, is they kind of take assets from other games and put them together, and that's kind of what it feels like, but in a good way. And the traversal is amazing. You run, you fly, and you swim. I mean, the fact that you've got those choices to get through missions, to get through stuff, it separates it, I think, somewhat from Destiny. I mean, you're going to always have that comparison. And I think until we get the actual, like, we've played through the campaign, we played through this, I don't think we'll entirely know how it stacks up with Destiny and those kind of games, but I wouldn't count it out. Like, and I have to say, it is a reason to have a 4K TV and a 4K system.
Right.
It looked gorgeous. I'm not gonna put it away from that. It looks amazing. The gameplay, what the footage I did see,
It's beautiful,
amazing, and it's definitely piqued my interest. At first, I thought, oh, just another Destiny. If I wanted to go play a Destiny game, I'd go play Destiny. But this has some mechanics and stuff in there that look very unique. The classes look really different. I crack up at how everybody cheered at the fact that they were like, no loot boxes.
Yeah,
like,
well,
that's where we are in
right.
video games.
Yeah.
It's no loot boxes, no
That
mystery crates.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme with this E3, as everyone's like, no loot boxes or free DLC is another thing I'm seeing.
They got spanked.
Yeah, and I think consumers are a little tired of not knowing what they're buying, and
they showed Command and Conquer, which, by the way, was the worst thing they've
God.
ever shown.
So what did they do with the Command and Conquer franchise?
It's a mobile game now.
They released it as
Oh, that
shot
makes
in the
me.
head again. That's what they did with that game.
They
Okay?
Frankensteined it and then just
and then
immediately
shot it in the head again.
And they did a
That's so
15-minute esports with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
do y'all know
God.
who one of those players is?
Not a
No.
clue.
Okay, In Control is a huge American pro StarCraft 2 player. Okay,
Okay.
where
Makes
you
sense
got
as it
to
would be
start.
there.
So
Yeah.
you're talking about bringing these two really good players from very popular game series, and bringing them to play what I deem was a very blasé.
Yeah.
Like no one wanted to see a matchup of this game.
It's a scaled
No one
down
wanted to
version
see
of those
more
games.
than a minute
Yeah.
of footage of this game.
Yeah, especially if it's
Yeah.
like a mobile game.
Yeah.
It's funny, when I went to EA Play, which is their big event now, because they're not actually in the convention center. So I went to EA Play. We were there all day, pretty much, the day that the press conference happened, and it was pretty much our only event that day. And so we played everything, like the new Madden, the new FIFA, the new all that kind of stuff. Which to me, that's not my cup of tea. But
Yeah, I was gonna say you were probably enthralled with that.
If you want to hear more about that, I have some discussions with Matt and Caleb. But I did get to play Battlefield. We went back several times.
Oh yeah,
And I gotta say, it takes Battlefield 1, refines it, and then adds more crazy.
nice.
Let me set up this scenario, okay? So 64 players.
Yeah.
They have the whole, it's almost like a small mini campaign where you go through like 3 different days and 3 different environments. You've got to hold different areas. Of course, I held the D most of the time.
Of course,
that's
what we do.
and so everyone can pick up everyone else so not just medics can pick up people. Medics can bring them back right away, but other people can run up, and if they're not exactly blown up, they can pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
Like physically pick them up and throw them over their shoulder or something?
No. They kind of just grab their hand and pull them up, which, by the way, was creepy because I was in this one area. I was being Mr. Medic, and I was running in this area, and there was all these people laying on the ground going, "Help me!" Their arms outstretched. I'm running as a plane crashes next to me. Bullets are flying. Mortars are going off near me. I'm picking up everybody, and that's Battlefield. That's a good Battlefield.
That's awesome.
moment.
Yeah,
Which actually that reminds me of the video they were showing too.
Yeah, it's very, and then they added the fact that you could build barriers.
Like
barbed
fortifications
wire,
and stuff.
Fortifications. You can build up, giant cannons. You can build up. Of course, you can work on the tanks. The tanks controlled really well. I ran over many people.
Are the tanks? Talking about the tanks, are they better than in Battlefield 1?
Yeah, because they're heavier, and the weapons are definitely World War II. Like, they're heavier and they're stronger, and dude, I was sniping people. That's a good thing. When I served as the medic, he has a rifle that's pretty much almost a sniper rifle.
Nice.
And I was like sniping people. We watched somebody snipe someone from the ground that was coming. They were parachuting down, and the guy sniped him as he was parachuting down. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. And they did add a Royale game to it as well.
Yeah.
But it's on the back burner of their thing. They're
I always felt that was just like, when I heard that there's rumors of that, I was like, why? That's not what I want to play Battlefield for.
It's so in the back burner. They even admit it. Like, it's just something, like, if it takes off, it takes off. It doesn't. It's just another mode.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I think is the only way they can approach that on it.
If they were like, this is our primary mode, I would have been like, what the fuck?
Well,
everyone would have been pissed, especially the hardcore fans, because, like you said, Ransom, that's not what they go to play Battlefield for.
No,
they go to play that.
Capturing the D and stabbing people and burning people and blowing things up. That's pretty much.
Another question I had. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. No, but
you should be.
So,
damn it, Ransom.
Are the vehicles do they have, or do the players have bases, or is it like you spawn into your vehicle, or you spawn into an airplane? Like, how do they handle that?
Here is something that I really love, because in Battlefield 4, your squad is very important, like incredibly important. Because unlike other Battlefield games, like, if your area captures something, you can spawn in on that. Now, they might change this later. It might be certain modes, just the mode I was playing in. You could only spawn in if your squad, and if your squad is wiped, you spawn back at the base.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they're like, because you're trying to move on from point to point to capture,
right?
If they're like 3 things ahead, you're gonna have to, like, either find a jeep or walk your ass all the way over to where they're at fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it becomes very important to go hold back. If you're the last man in your squad, you run away until your squad respawns.
Until they spawn. Yeah.
And that's great. That's great tactics. That also means teamwork, which Battlefield needs to be about. Battlefield's not like Call of Duty. Battlefield is its own entity. And so I liked it. Like, I really, really, like, for day one. And I played a lot of it. It was my primary goal to go see when I went to EA, and I played as much as they let me play.
So is it like, do the different sides have bases, like in Battlefield 4 or something?
Or objectives or that kind of thing. It depends on the mode. There's several different modes. But the one we played, you actually paratroop in.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Okay, so how about vehicles? Does it work like in Battlefield 1 where you're spawning into them and then you go on, or are they just kind of out and around and you hop in them?
Certain vehicles you can spawn into, some are around. Like, I found the motorcycle that was completely useless, which they're still useless.
I feel that motorcycles are just for the fun of it.
Giggles.
Yeah, shits
like,
and giggles.
like you get
just driving around like a madman.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did, and I got blown up really quick. But they have big artillery cannons you can use, and it's definitely, we're going to get a lot of time when Battlefield comes out. We're going to play a lot of it. We're definitely going to play.
Do you see any aircraft? Like what type of aircraft? How do they handle that exactly?
I can't remember that. There was a bomber. There's bombers, and there was just like a fighter. There's only like a couple airplanes we could choose from. I mean, it's still.
And is it do you actually have to like take them off from an airfield, or is it spawn in like
Battlefield 1? Yeah, because I remember it was Battlefield 3.
That would suck having to do the other way. Yeah.
I like personally. I like having bases. I like having you need to take it off from the runway.
I forgot how much I actually did like that. Also, you could do some crazy crap when you had a base. Like you could,
yeah, exactly.
You could try to get your friends to stand on the plane and all that kind of stuff. But anything else with EA, you guys?
No, that's basically it. We talked about Sea of Solitude a little bit when you popped out, but I think that's just an indie game that has a lot of cool things. So I'll be looking forward to playing that. That's probably something that I'll end up playing. So
definitely.
Indie games are always good nowadays. So I mean, a lot of them are good nowadays. So
So next, I guess, would be Microsoft. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Microsoft had so much to prove.
50 games is a lot to pack in, and then also the introduction of the fact that they added 5 new studios to their crew. Which
was the biggest. That was their biggest mic drop. Was like, okay, we bought Ninja Theory. Oh yeah, we bought.
What they got Ninja Theory?
Yep. They also got Playgrounds
and Initiative and what's the other ones that they got?
They doubled their studios.
Yeah. Which I think is great. I totally am down for that.
They needed it. They had no exclusives.
So bad. Yeah.
And so, but the thing is, when you look at it, you sit down and you look at it, you're going, okay, this is great, but this also means some of these games probably won't be out until the next Xbox. Very
true.
But I have to admit, my expectations were very low for Microsoft, like really low, and not EA press conference low, because the games were good. The press conference was bad.
But we just weren't expecting a lot from Microsoft.
Microsoft, they brought it. I have to admit, this year
awesome.
They brought it. Yeah, they made me go, thank God I have an Xbox. At least I feel validated now.
Now I can go dust it off.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you feel that way.
And I think that's what they needed this year. They realized, I think people were collecting dust, and they needed a couple of things to make people go back to their Xbox.
I'm glad that you feel that way, but I was kind of meh about it.
Well, a lot of the games you don't like, so I was thinking that you were but they showed Halo, which won't come out to next gen. I know that right now.
Yeah, pretty done with Halo.
I haven't played any of them yet.
I don't know what this is going to be. Is this going to be a story Halo? Is this going to be
Infinite? Right? It's Halo Infinite, so it's not in the numbered universe. So I don't know what it is.
Well, yeah. So if they turn it on its head and do something cool with it, I'm down. I'm just sick of the numerical Halo games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the last one was
5 was
no story. And so they showed Halo. They showed 3 years, which was rumored. One of them was not quite what we thought, because it was rumored that there was a a Halo Tactics type of Gears, which yes, there is Gears Tactics or whatever it's called. The next Gears number game, which the last Gears, the story was amazing. It was just great.
Yeah, it was good.
The campaign was really fun. I really enjoyed the last Gears.
Yeah. Can I just say that the whole Gears Pop thing, I thought that was their announcement, and I thought people were going to be outraged that we haven't ever. And look,
Oh, by the way, 5.
Like, not that those aren't awesome things, but it's like, oh my gosh, if this is all they're announcing, people are going to lose.
Yeah, they announced Ransom. I don't know if you saw it or not, but they announced the first game of the 3 Gears games they announced was Gears Pop. So it's Pop figures. It's a mobile game.
The Funko Pop figures.
Oh man!
It's like they're putting the Lego spin on it. But that's the first one they started with.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's cute though. It's really cute. I actually seen
cute.
it, but
I'm totally fine with it now that I know.
We had heard about a year. Remember, I think I mentioned it on the show about a year and a half ago that Pop was looking to make games like Lego.
Yeah.
So I guess this is the beginning of their thing, and it's kind of interesting they went this route. They didn't go they actually went gaming route rather than. But we saw a lot of interesting games. We saw Capcom brought Devil May Cry 5.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
And it looks crazy. It looks really crazy.
Are they going off of the? Is it like another reboot, or is it the same?
It's DMC. It's DMC, but it's old Dante too. It looks like at the very end.
Oh, okay.
It looks like the older style Dante, but he has shorter hair.
Yeah, but did you see the very end? The very end, though, it looked like the actual Dante shows up, the original one.
Oh, cool.
So wait, both Dantes are in it?
Apparently, yeah.
Weird. Interesting.
So I guess maybe they're crossing the gap between the two. Maybe there was an alternate universe or something. Yeah, they brought the original guy back. So speaking of which, we'll get to that later, actually. But I mean, what other games did y'all see that y'all really liked? So
Death
many.
Stranding. Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Well, that's PS4, but yes.
Well, it looks like they announced a lot of games that were on other systems that are going to be brought to the Xbox. They announced that Nier is coming to the Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 will be on the Xbox. They announced a couple things. Cuphead is getting a DLC, which I think is great because I think people are a little apprehensive about it because they said it's only one extra island, which could mean maybe only 5 more bosses. But I also take it on the spectrum of those are hand drawn, like really intense. You don't find artists that draw that old style of cartoon animation anymore.
Speaking of which, the hand drawn, they announced Battletoads, a sequel to Battletoads coming out. It's hand drawn.
It looks anime-ish.
Yeah, it's hand drawn, just like Cuphead.
Yeah. And then that's going to be amazing. I'm excited about Ori and the Will of the Wisp. That game is gorgeous, and it's going to be so much fun to play.
They announced a ton of stuff for Game Pass. Like Gears is going to be on Game Pass on
several
day
of
and
them
date.
are.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like Gears Pops, Gears 5. Yeah, and I guess Tactics. Tactics was Tactics for Xbox or was it mobile?
It's Xbox.
Okay.
And then We Happy Few is going to get a storyline, it looks like. So,
it's going to be finally finished because it was one of those early access games that it's so weird now that you buy games that are not finished and you pay for them. But
I'm really not a fan. Also, I feel like that's how games lose steam really easily.
Yeah, it does.
People just get burnt out on them.
And I love the aesthetic in some of the gameplay of We Happy Few, but it wasn't finished. And I'm excited to see the finished product because I own it.
I'm about to say, I'm so down to play, but when I realized it was just like here's the first cutscene, and then you just experience the world, it loses me. I want a storyline because I feel like this is a kind of a love child of BioShock. You're getting that weird environment and feel in a different art style, and I want to see where the story goes, what the direction is, what is your end.
It's very I talked to the developers last year or the year before. I can't remember now. I think it was the year before. It's very inspired by 60s British sci-fi and Fallout, and you can totally see it. But what else? There was so much.
There was so much. Captain Spirit, which is made by the guys from Life is Strange. That's a free, and that's gonna be So
I'll definitely be getting that.
It's free. The first one was free. Right?
It's all free. I'm not sure if they said it's not a continuation of the story. It's just free. But it's just kind of a set in the same universe. So whether they take with it and run with it and go on with something else, or if it's just a standalone.
Oh, I got chills. I got chills when I saw the story. Like it just made me like the inner kid was crying because
I am interested in that.
So all of these are saying are free for Game Pass, but the one problem that I have with Game Pass is what they did with Sea of Thieves. They've already taken Sea of Thieves off.
No, it's still on Game Pass.
They said that they were taking it off.
Yeah, I looked the other day. It's still on there, so I don't know. I don't know where that came from.
I'm wondering if that has to do with the DLC they announced. Then
maybe
they did announce two DLC packs.
Because everything I see for Game Pass, like all the stuff around E3, has Sea of Thieves in it still.
Okay.
So they're making more DLC for Sea of Thieves?
Yes, there's 2 packs. It's Cursed Sails and Forsaken.
Okay, I was about to be really mad if they were going to charge me money for
DLC. Like I think Lindsey said earlier, like there's many games that like it comes with free DLC now. Like it's kind of their thing.
Their shtick right now. Yeah, exactly. Everything's free.
So, I can't think of the name. There was a ninja game that was really cool, and I cannot.
Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Okay.
Yeah, Matt actually got to play that. It's funny. He was in the press conference. He barely got into the press conference, and then we got a message from I believe it's Activision to go play it while the press conference is going on. And so he was like, "Well, I'm leaving," and so. It was right about the time that I had leaves falling on my head from Forza. I kept one. It was kind of cool. So I guess that I would say Microsoft. I would rate it a B+.
Yeah, it was a good conference, that's for sure.
Dying Light 2 also.
Yes,
Dying Light 2 is on there. Also, what the big finale, Cyberpunk 2077. That's
my favorite
finisher.
And I'm buying Cyberpunk.
I'll be getting that.
I'm buying Cyberpunk for Xbox unless there's something announced differently, and I'll probably have an Xbox.
Is it coming out on PS4?
Not that I know of.
Not that they announced.
Not that they announced, but it probably will be. It probably will be.
It would be so weird if it wasn't.
Is it coming out for PC?
If it's coming on Xbox, it will.
Yeah, it'll be
I'm just going to buy it virtually so I get both copies.
Yeah. So you can, but EA was. Microsoft was definitely good. So I guess we should move on. The next one was Ubi.
Nope, Bethesda.
Soft. Yeah.
Bethesda. Oh yeah.
Oh, Bethesda. Yeah, that's right.
Bethesda was that night.
God.
Holy crap!
The first half, I did not get into. I will fully admit. Andrew WK also didn't sell it for me either. But because I don't know if you saw it, guys.
I sadly missed the Bethesda.
I didn't see.
I saw the Rage
had the whole. But I know it's like more open world and free roam.
So Andrew WK came out, this and sang before it. He sings the theme song to Rage and everything. I was like, I don't.
What?
Yeah, they did the whole
they
band
had a
and
concert thing.
Feel being there because I was looking at the crowd's reactions from the stream, and it was like kind of this awkward. Do I stand up and jam out, or do I sit here and be silent? Like,
and they were sardine. See, I didn't get to go to this one.
Okay.
But from what I understand, they were sardine in. This is like probably the smallest one they've had.
It was
in a long
tiny
time.
room.
It was a very tiny difference.
But it started off like Rage was okay, and then they went into some mobile stuff. They went to the card mobile game.
Yeah.
And Elder Scrolls Blades.
Yeah, and they went into what's the new one that's coming out in September? The mobile game. Elder Scrolls.
Blades.
Is that Blades? Yeah, they showed that. They had almost last. We'll get to that in a minute. But they showed the card game. I can't remember what it is. The mobile card game. Legends. Yeah. Then they showed online. Then they showed
ESO Somerset. Then they showed Eternal.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, that's okay. It was boring.
And then Quake Champions, which unless you're a big Quake person, you don't give a fuck.
And then they showed Doom 2 or Doom whatever it's called.
Doom
Eternal.
Doom Eternal,
which was like cool. Like I was cool.
Yeah, that looks cool. I saw the trailer. I'm pretty on board.
So, and then Wolfenstein. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's set in the 80s.
Wolfenstein Youngblood. It's the
Blazkowicz's daughters.
It's the twin daughters of
that had me. That had me, of course.
And it's co-op.
Co-op. Yeah.
So, which goes to our whole thing of co-op.
Yes. Then they also showed Prey, which has they have free editions, replayable DLC, which is Mooncraft, and then they have this. It's Typhoon Hunter. I was barely paying attention to that, honestly, because I haven't played it. But it looks like a bunch of additions.
Prey never snagged me.
Are free, so yeah.
And I tried to play it. I was so bored. I had to admit, and I felt bad because I love the studio. I love Arcane and all that, and I just never got into it. And that's just my cup of tea. But then we got into the good stuff. We got into Fallout 76.
Fallout 76.
Yeah.
What the hell is this game?
It's a survival game, isn't it?
Well, it is a MMO light, is what it sounds like from everything I've gotten a hold of. All the information I have. It's not quite, because it didn't have it playable on the floor. Everything is Fallout related. There's a giant vault that you can actually get video, and you can get vault tech cards with your name and your all of your assets and all that on the show floor, which is really cool.
That's cool.
But they didn't have it playable. But everything I've been able to glean is it's just an open world you can go play in, but it's got a story too. So it's basically like a Fallout with real people that happen to be inhabiting it.
I'm just very confused on the way he presented it. It was like there's a story, but there are no NPCs. Everybody's playable, and you have these bases, but you can blow them up, and then you can team with other people and blow up bases. And there's no servers, but there are 12 people or 24-ish people.
I don't know about the no NPCs thing. Did they not show any NPCs?
He said everybody. There were no real NPCs. There were just other players.
Weird. I don't know then.
Which has me super confused. There's a lot of.
It sounds like a Rust type game.
Yeah.
Which is going to be very toxic if that happens.
And see, that's what I want to know. How easy is it to destroy bases? Yeah. How easily can you?
Yeah, those are really important things.
To blow up the world in such a capacity that new monsters appear and you can get special loot, and it changes the actual layout of the land. I have way more questions than I have answers for, and on top of that, it has a very seemingly early release date.
Well, that's honestly though. That's Bethesda though. They're big enough that they can hold on. They can wait to say anything. They don't feel like they need the window that some studios those publishers and studios have. Like, I need to tell you 10 years before. Well, look at Square. Freaking Kingdom Hearts was like 12 years, it feels like.
It was 5 years ago they released it, and then it's been 15 years since the second one. So
I think there is a gameplay footage, like 20-minute long gameplay of the game.
Of what? Fallout?
Fallout 76.
Okay, I'll have to take a look at that then. But I'm still probably gonna get it, I gotta admit. Like, I'm fascinated enough in the fact that if it is, we can go blow stuff up, and it's
I'm just purely curious at this
point. 4
of
us running around blowing stuff up.
I've never played a Fallout game before, but this seems very starkly different from all the other ones. So.
Well, I think that's their thing is like I think the original like genesis of this game, and it sounds like it from everything I've heard, is they wanted to see what it was like to do multiplayer in the universe. And it's been in development for 4 years, so I mean that's pretty good. That's a pretty long time, and they're using a lot of the assets from the last Fallout. You can tell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have hope. I
hope it turns out well. I'm just hoping. I'm just purely curious at this point. There's a lot of mechanics that are in other games of this type, and there's a story, and you can play it singular player. I think just everybody has a lot more questions than they do answers now.
one thing I do want to point out, they did make fun of the fact, they had a great, I don't know if you saw it, guys, about the fallout on what's it called? The thing you have, Mike, in your house. The thing you talk to and you say naughty things to at night.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, what about it?
Alexa?
Yeah,
Alexa,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to make him say Alexa, so she would say what?
Oh.
Oh, it
the
doesn't say
Skyrim?
anything until you actually do something.
Are you talking
Okay.
about the Skyrim Special Edition?
Oh my god!
Yes.
I thought that was a joke until I looked on YouTube and people
Go
were
back-
actually doing this.
Go back and listen to the last Road to E3 episode, and we have an actual 5 minutes where we talk about that, and we actually talk about it on Braille and on the refrigerator, and it was like almost they took it straight from our episode. It was freaky.
That's
What, okay, I don't know what happened. What? Because I didn't watch the Bethesda. What happened?
Yeah, they showed a whole thing where it was a joke of it's on your Alexa, and he's talking to his Alexa, and he's like, eat more cheese. He's about to die, and
and there's a dragon. I pull on my sword. Your sword is
Yeah.
broken. Whose sword? They make this whole thing about it playing Skyrim.
it's really funny. It's really funny.
Yeah.
But
It's like Alexa is the game master, and
It's exactly
you're
what
playing
it
a
is.
tabletop.
Yeah.
which, by the way, I
It's very
officially want
hilarious, but
a
very
D&D Alexa.
That would be
game.
Yeah,
actually
that would
kinda
be
fun.
awesome. I would totally be down.
You can play it on there right now. I checked my phone and the app and everything, and it has Skyrim Alexa Edition, and you can add it onto your Alexa.
Oh,
That's
wow.
so great.
But
Yeah.
I still think
Hey,
Alexa
hang on
Braille
one sec.
is
Hang on
the
one
one-
sec, guys.
Yes.
Alexa, download Skyrim.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Ah,
You have to go
Yep.
through I think the phone app, but you need to do it and play through it because I'm going to do that eventually too. It's hilarious.
But
So
I think the really big next thing, because we'll have to move along, is Blades, is the Elder Scrolls Blades, which is a mobile game. I think Caleb played it today. He was actually really surprised how in depth it was. There's a lot of depth to it. But the fact that they're also going to put it on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
It looks like a better Switch game to me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't
sounds
want to
like a
play
Switch.
it. I don't want to play it on a phone.
yeah.
I think it's cool, and it looks really good for a phone game. If that was
Yeah.
indeed what they were playing it off of or showing off of,
He's seen it. He said it was beautiful. So,
it looks better than Skyrim, to be honest.
which by the way, I'm really shocked they haven't put that on the phone either.
Yeah.
They also announced
a new IP, Starfield.
Yeah, which actually is the only thing I didn't see. So y'all are gonna have to describe it.
There was literally nothing. It was spaceships flying away, and then Starfield, and that was it. You didn't
Interesting.
miss
I
anything.
knew, I heard rumors a while ago that they were working on something sci-fi. So
Yeah.
Well, okay,
And then the final thing was Elder Scrolls 6.
it was like,
and then it was
Elder Scrolls
just
6.
And that was the same thing.
it was just they showed a vista of the land, and then it
Next
was
gen.
Elder Scrolls 6.
I
Next
think
gen.
honestly they needed to do that because I think if they had just ended it on either the mobile game or the new IP, I think
Yeah,
the
people would've
conference
been
would have had a
flipping tables.
much worse reaction. But they
Absolutely.
announced that and hype was up, and it was like, okay, cool, we're good, everybody's happy.
It's like they're ace in the hole. They knew that they could have the conference be whatever they wanted it to be, as
Okay.
long as
Hey,
they announced Elder Scrolls
Optim.
6.
So, I guess next one would be Square. Yeah. So
Yes.
I didn't see a lot. I was actually in line for Ubisoft when theirs came on. So I saw Kingdom Hearts. Matt got to actually play 40 minutes of Kingdom Hearts today.
Oh, that's
I'm
nice.
so jealous.
He said the controls are amazing. He said that we're gonna get a little more in depth later on. I'll pretty much sit down with him. Actually, I might end up playing it tomorrow, so or the next day. But it looks pretty. It's pretty.
I
pretty
could watch that trailer 1,000 times and I don't care. It's just, I mean, it got shown 5 or 6 times during the whole E3, stream conference, and I didn't care. I'm just so hyped about this game, how
What?
gorgeous it is.
What other games did they show?
They showed, so the first thing they showed was Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which
I played today.
It's a Tomb Raider game, so I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. It looks great.
I love the rebooted series, the last 2 games before this, and this one. I'm a really big fan, actually. I just played it today, and damn, it's a dark game.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, Lara Croft is just like a the first badass.
Yeah,
the first one was pretty dark.
This one is like, but this one like is all about like, searching your soul and all this kind of, like, it's very dark. Like I'm a little worried about that, but like I love the last 2 games. So
I never played the second.
It was good. Like
I played only a little bit of the first one.
I really enjoyed them, and I like the fact that like Lindsey said, she's a badass. So and they don't. The thing I've never been a big fan of is the like over sexualization of Laura, and they don't do that in the series, and that's one of my favorite things about the series. Other than the gameplay's tight,
I think you could easily replace this person with a guy, and there would be no difference.
Pretty much.
And I think that's what they're going for. It's just her.
Well, it's very like Uncharted like.
It is, but if you think Uncharted was very Tomb Raider like originally, and they're both very Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So
true.
One came first, definitely.
Yeah. So Laura's before Nathan, but and I'm a huge Uncharted fan too. So it's.
Well, I'm
it's
just saying
good.
The new one is. It's not. Yeah. The sexualization's not there, like you said.
Yeah, because it definitely was there in the others.
Oh my
gosh. But it plays very well. It plays extremely well. And what else did they show? Sorry.
The next thing they showed was my game. They showed a little bit of the Final Fantasy 14. They showed the 4.3 patch. And then the big thing that no one was expecting is there's going to be a crossover with Monster Hunter World. You will be able to fight a Rathalos in Final Fantasy 14. I had to look this up because they didn't really specify it at all.
They didn't specify anything.
You will fight a Rathalos in Final Fantasy 14, and in Monster Hunter World, they will bring out a behemoth, and that is a new beast that you can fight.
That's cool.
And that's a free download. So that's kind of this crossover they're doing, which I think is fantastic. I'm always down for that.
Yeah. Final Fantasy, Square with the Final Fantasy and crossovers, they're doing it left and right. If you look at Square and Ubisoft, they did it with Assassin's Creed and Final Fantasy back and forth, and that's great. Like, share that love.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I love these bringing of games into each other, these little things. And Final Fantasy 14 is a game that they did something. I'm trying to think of the game. Oh my goodness, it's just totally it's yokai. They did a yokai thing a long time ago, and they've done
Yokai Watch
this.
Or
Yokai Watch. They had literally had like little mounts and stuff inside of Final Fantasy that you can get, and you could ride around that are from yokai. It's like Ghost or whatever.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy. So this one, this MMO tends to not take itself too seriously, which I think allows for opportunities like this. It's like it's a game with dragons, so it totally makes sense for a dragon to be in it.
Yeah.
It also has.
Any game with Moogle should not take itself seriously. So
I love Moogles, Koopo. Very excited about that. That's going to be super fun. Let's see. They showed Captain Spirit again from the Life is Strange.
Spirit,
Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah,
XI.
11.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've saw it through Japan, and it looked amazing. Like freaking 6 months ago. It looked pretty good, the trailer. I haven't seen it yet.
It looked decent, yeah.
It looks like a good Dragon Quest game. I've never played any of them, but it definitely looks great. It looks like something that fans will.
It's a JRPG. Dragon Quest series is always just pretty standard JRPG.
Yeah.
I like them, but I mean, I can see where some people think they're a bit dry.
Yeah. It wasn't super high def, but it was standard for a JRPG as far as the graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So and then, they show anything else?
They showed the next thing they showed was Babylon's Fall, which is a game. I don't think they showed too much. I can't even remember what the trailer was about.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing I've heard about Square is like a lot of it was like kind of snooze fest.
Yeah.
I mean, they've only got a couple more, so yeah.
It can't be, and this is the first one they've had in a very long time.
4 years, I think it's been.
Yeah, and the last one was a huge mistake. So, yeah, I don't know. Like it's. I mean, I've seen the trailers, and I wasn't really interested in going back.
Yeah.
And, so. Anything else from them?
Octopath Traveler is going to be for the Switch, which looks like your standard adventure RPG. I think it's available actually right now.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I believe so, yeah.
I think you can go download it right now on your Switch. And I think that's a Switch exclusive. So,
yes.
And then they showed Just Cause 4, which is exploding things.
Yeah. I honestly never got into the last Just Cause, so
I love the last Just Cause. I got it working because on computer they had like this horrible memory leak bug in which the game was virtually unplayable. Well, I only got to play it recently. Yeah.
Just before Just launched the Cause 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it
Quiet Man?
The Quiet Man was the last thing they showed.
So
which
Eric,
is like, okay, so do you know anything about this, Eric? Because it's
I was about to explain it to him.
Yeah.
Think Mute on Netflix, but game form.
Like, you can't talk?
He can't talk and he can't hear. He's completely mute. But he still, like, beats people up and is badass.
Well, I mean, that doesn't stop him from being mute. I mean, mute doesn't stop him from being a badass.
No,
so
but
cool.
he is the quiet man.
They can you know how the old aliens thing is they can't hear you scream in space or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like he can't hear you scream at all when he.
Yeah, exactly. So he doesn't care. Yeah.
Talk about a silent protagonist.
The video literally was
hey,
him.
You know, it's great.
The video was him.
And it was a live action trailer, and then it cut into gameplay.
So
it cut into gameplay, like it started from his leg up or his arm up, and that was you could tell at that point that it was the game. At that point,
okay. So let's move on to Ubisoft. I was there, by the way.
I loved the opening.
I don't even remember the opening. Sadly,
it was a panda, and they opened with Just Dance, so it was like color and dance and music and a live band, and
maybe if I had worn the panda suit, I would have gotten in to actually sit in the audience this time. Unfortunately, they kind of overdid the capacity, and we went into a room and watched it on TV. We got gift bags. That's fine.
Division 2?
I have an Ubisoft hat. Division 2, I was pleasantly surprised. Again, co-op. Won't get too much into it, but
Beyond Good and Evil was another.
I think that's the big one that everybody was excited to see again. And this collaboration with Hit Record.
The Hit Record, I was very, very happy with that. I actually talked to them about some stuff. They were there, and so
question mark.
Yeah, we will talk about that later.
What's Hit Record?
Okay, Hit Record. They basically.
Oh, Hit Record. Okay.
Sorry, yes, Hit Record.
It's what's his name?
Gordon Levitt. Joseph Levitt.
George. The kid from Third Rock from the Sun.
Yes. Yeah.
He started this over 5-6 years ago. This thing where it's a collaborative, creative
the indie
website.
Artist collaborative, yeah.
And what they've done is they've joined up with the Beyond Good and Evil team, and they want to put assets in the game like art and street art and posters and music and all that kind of stuff into Beyond Good and Evil. So the community is going to be able to help populate Also, because this game's been in development so long, they probably need the help with all those assets anyway.
And it's worth noting that these people, I think it was failed to mention on it, and he later put it on his Twitter, that they do get paid for these assets.
Do they?
They get paid for this. He mentioned it in his Twitter later because people were like, "Are you going to pay?" I feel like that's something you should mention, and he was like, "You're right, we didn't mention it. Script got short. Yes, people get paid for this, and you can go check that out on his Twitter." So
it's really cool. It's really, really cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Really kind of we'll go through it real quick. Division 2, I guess it was shocker. That I even I played a lot of Division 1 and got really bored after about a month.
There wasn't much to the game. It was kind of repetitive, and
they're promising a lot of extra content, but they also added raids.
Yeah,
and that interests me. They also the environment's changed somewhat. It also looks like it's more of a current gen. Like it looks like a very pretty game. I saw it playable, and I'm playing it tomorrow. So
okay. I will definitely want to hear your opinion. Because I hope that people aren't as bullet spongy as they were in the last game.
That's why we'll probably get more into that for the next recording. So, the freaking guys they were fighting, they took a lot of damage.
But they were already like humongously armored, though.
Yeah. What else was there? There was the
Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
Trials Rising, which is the motorbike where they basically showed slapstick comedy for about 5 minutes, which was
really weird.
Which apparently somebody in one of my Discord chats mentioned that Trials Rising isn't just a BMX thing. It's actually all sorts of stuff built into it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems like all they showed though was the BMX stuff, and the only reason
BMX. That's the only thing they showed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
it's like I love people either really love that game or just don't play it. It's
I never heard of it. So
it's been Trials has been around since at least the
Xbox, the beginning of the Xbox 360.
They showed a For Honor expansion coming.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Marching Fire and Breach. Marching Fire brings in the Chinese. I'm gonna butcher it. What is it? The Shaolin or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to completely butcher that. And then Breach, which is the new game mode where you can breach a castle.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that
that's
idea.
That's going to be the new game mode.
And Elijah Wood is actually... Oh, that's a different game I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they showed...
Transference,
which is a VR game that Elijah Wood's working on.
Which, by the way, was really interesting, seeing those two around. But, at a game thing, is like, there's Elijah Wood and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Interesting.
I'm kind of hoping that people take this game art more seriously. That's what I'm glad to see people like that there, because they're like, I've never reached into this, but
you see people from more of our generation, from I know we kind of multiple generations here, but you see it from that time period, from their 20s to about their 40s now, where they're treating this like the art that we feel like it is. Yeah. And so it's really nice to see, especially celebrities in this age group, wanting to put their money and their effort and their time into building stuff like this, because they see it and they're gamers too. They're gamers too. We tend to think of them as oh, they're shallow actors or shallow this or that, but there's a lot of them that are pretty hardcore gamers. They just, a lot of them don't have anything else to do but play games when they're in their trailer and whatnot.
Yeah.
But one of the other things they showed was the pirate game. I cannot remember the name of it.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
Ready to be a motherfucking pirate.
Yeah.
This game looks amazing.
Is that going to be your name, by the way, motherfucking pirate?
I'm a motherfucking pirate. I am Captain MFP, motherfucking pirate.
So is it what's it called? Like Sea of Thieves, or
it's like
adult Sea of Thieves. I feel.
Yeah, I was not going to be that harsh, but you're right.
Think Assassin's Creed. Well, it would be like more like a Black Flag, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah,
it's like you could take all of the elements of Assassin's Creed Black Flag and put them into a pirate game. I mean, just from the get-go, they showed you how gorgeous this game is, and then they immediately are like, okay, you have 4 different ship types that you can choose from. You can customize the ship, you can customize the cannons, you can customize the missiles, your battering ram, and then they immediately take you
so it's Sea of Thieves, but better.
Yes.
well, we'll see. The thing is, though, the thing with Sea of Thieves was it was a playground, and there was a lack of things to do.
Yeah,
and it has no content.
No, and now going after, because they've essentially made almost raids in Sea of Thieves with some of the Kraken and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious to see is there going to be an actual story to
see? And I feel like their focus on this one is not super be a pirate, as in here's a map, you go to X, you get the shit stuff, you come back. I feel like this is going to be really focused on combat, as in you're going after these charters and whatever in the Indian Ocean.
So is it an MMO style game?
There is multiplayer.
It is, yeah.
I don't think they said it was. Is it? Did they say it was multiplayer like MMO?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
I don't know, MMO. Is it?
Because each ship is a crew of actual people.
So,
or at least the captain is, I guess. I don't know. And they have a base area kind of like on Monster Hunter, where it's like a hub for all the stuff that you need to do and collect. Yeah. And then you go out and actually
a Pirate's
fight.
Cove.
Yeah, it's a Pirate's Cove. And then you go actually out and collect loot, or you can battle. It's both. So in that respect, it's like Sea of Thieves, but just ramped up even more. Because they were showing
fortune teller too.
Yeah, well,
yes, the fortune teller that tells you how the weather is going to be, or what luck you have, or something else. It tells you different elements of how your day is going to be,
so that you can strategy accordingly. Yeah, strategema. Strategeries. And then also you're fighting against potential squads of people or squads of NPCs. I can't tell which. So you'll have multiple ships that you could command all at once in a squad.
Is this available to play on the floor, Eric?
I can't say.
NDA.
Possibly can tell you on the next episode. I can tell you on the next episode because I don't remember.
I'm looking forward to hearing more. That's all I'll say about that.
I've signed so many non-disclosures this year. The Starlink. What was the name of that one?
Starlink
Battle for Atlas.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
the game that nobody gave a crap about until they added Star Fox.
Until they added Fox, and now I care.
Yeah.
I remember sitting. Okay, we're sitting in there. It's all press and some fans in the room we were in, and everybody was just zoning out when the stuff came on, and then all of a sudden, boom, Star Fox.
Yeah, I was like, that's as soon as I didn't even see him yet, and I was like, that looks like Star Fox's ship.
Starlink, yeah.
Wait, what game is this?
It is Starlink.
Okay, Starlink. It is a toy to life game that you build. You can buy the bits of your ship.
Buy
is
the
what
parts
I'm guessing.
of the ship. Yeah, because they showed a human person making the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's playable. It's playable. I think I'll be playing it tomorrow as well. But
it's like Skylanders or the Toy Box game for He-Man and all them that you had before, I guess.
Yeah. It's a toy to life. It's the only toy to life now.
Yeah.
Except for Amiibos, kind of.
Except for Amiibos.
And I have heard rumor that they're reissuing the all the Smash Brothers when Smash Brother comes out. The original, they're going to start bringing them all back out again.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't get them the first time, you might get them a second time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the Crew 2, I think, is what they ended on, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. So Ubi was interesting. Oh, Assassins.
And Assassin's Odyssey, yeah.
Okay,
oh yeah, Assassin's Odyssey.
I don't want to get too much into it because I'm playing it tomorrow. But I will say it's gonna live or die by its story because I played Odyssey. It's kind of reminds me of the old Assassins, where like the next iteration, the next game, is just a slightly better iteration of the first one, of the one prior.
Mm-hmm. I remember a lot of people complaining about a lot of the assets looked
similar.
Yeah, very, very similar.
They do look very similar, but the gameplay, if it holds up just like the old play, and they added more RPG elements. They added dialogue trees. They want it to be more of an RPG now. Like they've been if you played Odyssey, you would see that it kind of started moving that way towards an RPG. Yeah, and it's a good game. Like Odyssey is one of my favorite games last year.
You mean Origin? You mean Creed?
Origin? Yeah.
Sorry.
Odyssey, if it can hold on to that amazing kind of storytelling and add all that depth, it'll be a great game. I don't know how much, more of improvement. I don't know, I don't know yet. We can talk more about that after I play it. So,
okay.
So let's move on to
PC gaming. Which, holy crap! Honestly, that show gets better and better for me personally every year that it comes out. It's a lot of stuff to go through, a lot of random indie games, and
I will say this is a little inside baseball. Okay, the funny thing is, like, I'm with a whole bunch of game people, like devs and all this kind of stuff, and I have people that have games coming out on PC and they don't even go to it. So
really,
yeah, it's like it's the poor little like redhead stepchild of like E3, the press conference. It really is. But you're telling me it's good this year? It really is, because people just like they never show the entire audience because it's never at capacity.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me, honestly.
No, it's a constant. I mean, there are a lot of PC games here at the at the show floor, but it is a very console driven. Yeah, E3 is. So what did you see that you liked?
They showed a lot of things. A couple of the high hitters, I think, they're doing reboots of Shenmue 1 and 2. Yakuza Kiwami is coming back. Yakuza 0 will be in August.
Yeah, I saw that. The Best of Sega Collection, I believe, is what they're calling it.
Yes. They showed it's a battle royale game called Maverick's Proving Grounds, which is claiming to have a 1,000 person queue up. So you can get in a game with 1,000 people, which, trust me, I think that's bananas, but that's what they're claiming. So we'll go with that. They're bringing
that sounds miserable, actually.
Yeah, that's too much saturation.
It's like 30 minutes to get into a friggin' game. No. Let's see. The Forgotten City is a Skyrim mod that is being turned into a full game.
Nice.
Nice.
They're bringing out 3 updates to Killing Floor 2.
Cool.
Which is like a circus thing in an airship with a ringleader and a couple of new characters, I think.
That's pretty much a Saturday night for me.
So, Don't Starve is getting a new DLC called Hamlet. So it's like, if you've ever played the Don't Starve series, they're survival games.
So it's going to be a Shakespeare thing. That's awesome.
That's free on Game Pass.
Yeah. So, Just Cause 4, Hitman 2, I think was what they finished with.
By the way, Hitman 2. The one that's now done by Warner Brothers. Published at least. The banners here at E3 have been the funniest thing. Like, they show Hitman with all these different like tools. There's like tons of them when you walk down the middle way between the 2 parts of the convention center. And there's one where he's holding a muffin.
It's a muffin,
that he's going to use it as a killing device. And I just like, I actually laughed. I was exhausted too. It'd been like 4 hours of sleep for like 2 days, but I just started laughing and snorting. I was laughing so hard because I was like, that literally sold me the game.
Yeah.
Like, if I can kill somebody with a muffin,
it'll probably
That's
be
it,
like
man.
they'll probably stuff it into their mouth or something and they can't breathe.
well,
Yeah.
how else would he kill them, Mike?
You know, it just
Shove
looks
him
like a
up him
game
up
that
his butt?
With the gluten in it.
Yeah. He's diabetic? He just waits till he dies?
the gluten. No.
No! The gluten that's totally not killing anybody. Go ahead.
Yeah. Walking Dead, Telltale, they're finishing up
Their
the series.
final chapter.
It's the final chapter. They actually had the voice actor for Clementine out there.
Nice.
So it was pretty cool to meet her. This one Battle Royale game is already out to play. It's Realm Royale, which is like you can play as RPG people in the Battle Royale setting.
I saw it somewhere out here.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. Couple Oculus games that nobody cares about because no one owns an Oculus. Jurassic World Evolution is one that's also out to play. You can get it on Steam now. It's basically a city builder where you manage the Jurassic World part.
Oh, okay.
So if you're into that, that's totally this thing.
Which they did have a humongous booth for that.
I love dinosaur sex. It's just awesome.
Does the game always end in dinosaurs escaping and destroying everything?
No, it ends in very white music and babies getting made.
It's a dinosaur. Holy crap, it's having sex. Oh crap, my eyes are burning.
Thank you. So, what's after PC?
Sony.
Sony, okay. So I didn't get to watch Sony while it happened, but I've watched all the trailers. So they showed...
They brought it, I feel.
It was an interesting start, so you didn't get to watch the conference. So they had them in two different buildings. They started them off in one building, which they made to look what seemed to be at the beginning was a church. But what it later turned out to be was the beginning of the cinematic trailer for
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us 2.
Yeah,
which was
it was like a barn. It was like a barn type of
Well, this was the least amount of seating that Sony has had for their press conferences.
True.
So it was really almost nobody got invited.
I think it was even smaller than the Ubisoft.
Yeah, it looked like there was maybe 4 rows of chairs in the front in that first area, and then the rest was
200.
It was
max.
Whoa.
Yeah, because there was like multiple layer like balconies going up, and that was about it.
There was supposed to be the garden, like a Japanese garden from one of the games that we're going to talk about, in between the buildings or something like that too. Like they went completely crazy with it.
Yeah,
which makes sense that they went crazy with the layout because it was basically a way to say we don't got a lot to show this year, but here's a cool place where we're going to show the stuff we do have.
Well, if you look at the last 2 years, though, they've gotten more and more artistic with their display.
Yeah,
like
that's
last
true.
year,
Also,
like 2 years ago, they had like big orchestra and the throat singer and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then last year they had like big theatrical thing in the water with the different colors and the snow. It was snowing inside the frickin'
in the
theater and all that kind of stuff. So it's like I've had snow drop on me in the theater now and leaves. So thank you, Microsoft and Sony.
During the opening, at the little like church building type thing that they had, they actually had a guy playing the theme song with a banjo.
wasn't he? Is he like one of the lead composers for?
I think so.
The Last of Us that was playing it.
I believe so.
So guys, I didn't watch the Last of Us trailer. I
need to stop this podcast right now and go watch it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you better go.
No. There was a reason for it. Because I'm going to be seeing stuff tomorrow.
Cool.
I kind of wanted to go into it surprised, but if y'all can go through it, just kind of give a little bit of a reaction and let me know what you thought.
I enjoyed it.
It was amazing.
Okay.
They did two things. They did a short trailer, and then they did a extended gameplay of a certain scene.
Well, I know last year they showed the what some deemed almost too violent part, like a segment. Was it pretty violent for this?
If they thought last year was too violent, then they're not gonna like this one.
They had a warning up on the Twitch channel that says for mature audiences, click to continue. Because of the trailer that they had.
Speaking of which, I think we finally grew up a little bit as an industry. I've heard so much cussing in our press conferences this year. I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing, but I have noticed this year, I heard fucking shit several times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did too.
I think they're. I don't know if they realize what their demographic is, but I feel like that's probably just them just being like, you know what, whatever, we're all here.
Yeah, exactly. We're all adults.
Probably had to click mature audience for the gameplay anyway, so screw it. Let's just whatever with the language. So
yeah.
You can look up dinosaur porn online now, so who cares? The world is already. But it was really good from what I ever heard, and so that's good. I'm excited.
It was enjoyable.
The next episode, we'll get it more into it, especially if I get more time. What was the next game?
They showed in between the movement from that room to the next room. They showed a couple of things that are either already on the PS4. Right. The highlights were Call of Duty Black Ops. We're getting a couple of remastered maps. They showed a new VR Tetris game. Another VR game is Beat Saber, which is the lightsaber.
Oh, that's an awesome
game. So if you're into that, they showed a couple of indie games. One's called, I don't even know if this is an indie game, but it's Days Gone. They showed that.
Mm-hmm. No, Days Gone. Days Gone.
Where are you going, Eric?
No. Go ahead.
No, it's not an indie game, right?
No, that's the third. That's the first party.
Yeah, it's the first party.
So they showed Days Gone, which I barely was paying attention to do, honestly. I was so distracted by the fact that they were moving rooms and what on earth was going on.
That's not a good thing then.
Yeah.
It was a little strange, yeah.
The next game they showed was a game called Twin Mirror, which I also, from the creators of Life is Strange, it's
I must have skipped some of it.
Comparing theory that composes the ideas of choice and hypocrisy while paving a player's way towards conclusions of their investigation.
Oh, so it's just like life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Life, the board game.
That's the thing when you're here and you're in the middle of all of this stuff, you get washed and everything you guys sometimes actually see more than we do. So it's crazy.
Yeah. The next thing they showed after Beat Saber, they teased a little bit of the Destiny 2 expansion or whatever, Forsaken.
September
2nd.
Which we played today.
How was that? I guess you can't say, I don't know.
No, Matt played it. I more watched it when I was in line to play Spider-Man. It looks good. I mean, it's Destiny.
It's Destiny.
I do like the additions. Everything looks kind of cool, actually, and they kind of gave it almost a Western-y vibe.
Wait,
nice.
We're doing Sony, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember any of that on Sony.
It was barely a clip. You might have missed it in between of it. It was literally just a bunch of stuff they were doing while they were in that kind of interviewee booth looking thing.
Okay.
They have at Sony's booth that Destiny 2 expansion is playable. So anyway.
Yeah, that might have been the after show because I turned it off before the after show started.
Okay. Then they finally got everybody moved to the room, and they start doing their presentation for Ghost of Tsushima.
That game.
Oh yeah, that looks awesome.
Looks so good.
Yeah,
I'm so ready for a samurai game.
I think we're getting a few of them, from what it sounds like, or at least close to it. So
yeah, okay. My connection cut off right around there. That's what happened. because the Twitch channel crashed.
Yeah, it was. This was around the time that the stream that I was watching was having a lot of buffering issues.
they had a buffer issue, and then it crashed on us, and then I had to go to the YouTube channel to see the rest of it. And by the time I got to YouTube, it was the Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. So
they were
having a couple of issues.
You know what's worse is when you're less than 2 miles away from it and can't watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I'm right here.
So that game, that game looks amazing. And then did they show Spider-Man?
Spider-Man was what they ended on. There was a couple of games in between. They showed Control, which is like a weird sci-fi. Reminds me of Inception, just like strange, artsy. Girl has a gun that like morphs, but it's not a gun. I don't know. Right. It looks weird.
I want that shirt. Just what you said. Every bit of that on a shirt.
Next thing they showed was Resident Evil 2. It's getting
yeah. That trailer I did watch like 10 times. So
I cringed at how realistic the eating of the body was. I was like, ooh, it like actually made me physically uncomfortable.
and being in LA, I've seen that already, so it's terrifying. So
oh my gosh.
That trailer is great, and I know Mike likes Resident Evil, and I'm a pretty big fan.
Although I barely played any of them yet, sadly.
And two is definitely the best. Like and it
finally got a remaster.
Well, they've been working on it for a very long. It's the same team that did 0 and 1. So
nice.
Coming out January 29th, 2019, so it's not really that much longer.
It's not much longer.
By the way, if y'all haven't noticed, January through about April of next year
is
how many triple? Yeah. Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna be so broke.
How many games are releasing on February 22nd?
At least 5 or 6 games.
At least 2 or 3 of these games are going to get. You know why some of these games got moved though? It was because of games like Red Dead. Like
they're coming out,
They probably were like, okay, we'll just move it. So
we can't compete with that.
We're not going to be able to compete with that, so we're just going to move it.
By every bit of history, anytime Rockstar releases a game, with the exception of maybe Bully or something like that, or their table tennis game they did years ago.
Everyone pushed it back for the table tennis.
Everybody.
Everyone was like so intimidated by it.
And Bully was one of their early games.
Yeah. It was PS2. It was a PS2 game. But it was Bully was after Grand Theft Auto and all that started. Like it already Grand Theft Auto, but I think 3 had probably already come out or something like that. So, maybe even San Andreas. Not San Andreas. Yeah, San
Andreas hadn't come out yet.
It was maybe right before San Andreas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, so Death Stranding.
Yeah. I'm so ready.
Literally the game that's like what it's like to be on acid, apparently, because I had no earthly idea what was going on.
It seems like you're on another planet.
I thought it was Standing, but I guess not.
Okay. No, Death Standing happens when I'm in line too long.
I've been writing it on socials incorrectly the entire time. Then
that's fantastic, Mike. That's totally fantastic. I was BC, one of the guys that's down here, turned to Matt and he goes, "Oh my God, it's FedEx the game."
Pretty much.
That's pretty funny.
I was like, God,
like other planet FedEx.
Yeah, I don't.
The one part where he's like carrying what obviously looks like a body. I'm watching the stream, and people are like, "Oh, look, it's a really interestingly shaped chair." You know?
Yes, it's IKEA. It's called the Frune. it's called the Frune. I'm telling you, it's you can buy it in mauve or amber.
He gets there, and they're like, "Wait, this isn't in red. I ordered this in red."
Nobody
picks it up, takes it
together.
I don't play a lot of horror games, so I don't suspect I'll be playing this one. But I am curious as all get out as to what Kojima is doing.
I have an idea in my head of what it could be.
And it's probably wrong, Mike.
It's
because
probably
it's Kojima.
wrong.
It's Kojima, yeah. You can't.
I think that he is carrying himself as a baby, and then growing up, the baby's growing up, and then becoming him again, and then his old version dies, and so he's carrying the death version, and then he creates another embryo, and it just keeps cycling through over and over again.
Well, I think it's a clone because
that's
in the trailer they made it seem like they dropped a hint where it was like, "Oh, if you'll die, you'll come back." But
right, if you die, you'll come back. Yeah.
So maybe all of those disembodied shadow people are ones that got stuck. They're in between. They can't
exactly.
Maybe maybe it's almost like Battlestar when the robots die, they come back into another body. So
I just know I'm super excited for the game. It looks crazy. It looks like a great game.
Disappointed about though is there's no donkey balloon things like in the last Metal Gear. I can put the balloon things on donkeys. Yeah, I'm very sad for that. But other than that, it looks amazing.
And it looks so beautiful, the animation of the characters, when he was climbing the mountain or just going through the water and how natural it looked.
It's funny though, how much a pass Kojima gets though, and I love it because his games are great. But it's funny how much a pass he gets. Bless you. Bless you. It's so funny how much of a pass he gets though. If any other developer released that trailer, they'd be like, "What the hell is going on?"
I guess I unmuted the microphone as I was sneezing. I guess. Sorry.
That's gross.
What was that demo game? PT. PT. Does this have?
No,
it has nothing to do with it.
That?
No, PT was Silent Hill.
Silent Hill,
and then it got canned.
And it's sad because this one has Del Toro in it too. So
Guillermo is one of the
Guillermo del Toro is back with it. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro is back with it as well as Norman Reedus. They both came with Kojima.
I'm really, really hoping though that del Toro is some kind of boss or something that you can fight him, and he gets to use his Oscar. He gets to use his Oscar against you.
It sounds like something Kojima would do. Have Del Toro as a boss.
A whole bunch of robot Oscars come after you.
They even bring in Benicio del Toro too, just to bump up the game. the twin Del Toros. But anyway, it looks great. At the Sony booth, they have, which by the way, this year, now that Microsoft is not in the convention center, the booth is huge. They have so much open space. They just kind of said, okay, well, our neighbor moved and kind of just moved over. So they took up over all that space, and it's nice because it's just every year it kind of felt like a corridor. And this year it's just, the old pictures you'd see the Microsoft on one side and the PlayStation on the other side.
Yeah.
There's no Xbox on that side anymore, so it's all PlayStation. And it's really interesting because it's PlayStation's a little bit bigger, Nintendo's a little bit bigger. They all kind of spread out to fill in that bowl.
Yeah.
But it's a really, 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 really good game that looks so far. I'm really excited for Death Stranding. Spider-Man.
Well, before that, they teased a little cinematic of Neo 2.
Oh yeah.
Which no one was expecting, I don't think. So
no. It's sort of like Neo and nobody's expecting, and Nier coming on friggin' Xbox. Nobody expected that. So
So
it's you've seen a little bit of JRPG and Japanese game love this year. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So I gotta get to Spider-Man because I'm excited. So Spider-Man was really fun. I'm telling you guys, it was amazing. It was really, really good. It's the best part of it so far. What I played is I could probably sit on my couch and de-stress by swinging around the city. It is the best web slinging they've done, and that's saying a lot because there's a couple really good engines over the years. Like I think Spider-Man 2 is pretty good.
No, Spider-Man 2 was my favorite.
Yeah, this is way better. This is like crazily better. And you know, the guys who made this game, Insomniac, they made for me probably the best superhero game that never was a real actual superhero anyway, with Infamous.
Yeah,
and so they took that ability and crafted something that's really good. Like it I'm really excited that I actually pre-ordered this one. The traversal through the city is amazing. The abilities it sort of feels like you're playing an Arkham game.
That's what I was thinking from the gameplay trailer. It looks very Arkham Knight-ish.
Yeah, and it's not based on the movie per se. It's actually its own entity.
Yeah, it's completely. But you can get different costumes. We never got a firm answer of how many costumes you can get, but you're going to be able to get a ton of costumes. Like
that's cool.
That you want to play, and I've even heard rumors of like possibly even Spider-Gwen being in the game at some point somehow or something like that. So
that's cool.
I mean, maybe just rumor, but that's what I've heard.
What's the release date? Do they have one yet?
September, I believe.
Yeah, September 2019.
How about did Death
18.
Stranding have a release date?
No.
You're not going to see that game for a long time.
That's going to be a while. Yeah.
It says everything's PS4, so they're still not saying that because they kind of let the cat out of the bag that the next gen systems are probably going to be out in 2020. So next E3 will probably be a console year. Like it'll probably be like, hey, here's the Xbox, here's the. So you're not.
I have a feeling PlayStation's going to announce their stuff probably before next E3.
And it doesn't even feel like this gen consoles have been out that long.
Well,
I know.
It's because we had such a long generation before. Because normally it's 5 years. This one will be about 7 years if you really think about it. Because it's already been 5 years. So it'll be 7 when the new consoles come out, and the generation before was about 7-8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it'll be about the same. It's just it just does not feel like it's been that long.
It really hasn't.
But yeah, I love Spider-Man. Like I was really excited for it.
Oh hey Eric.
Yeah.
Do you like Spider-Man?
I love Spider-Man.
Oh no, he hates it like a
they even gave me They even gave me a copy of the Daily Bugle. So like I was tripping when I found that. I was like, this is amazing. This is cool. Like I'm gonna try to grab a bunch of them tomorrow. Bring them home, and like give y'all some and sell them on the street corner. Like, hey, everybody, come by the Daily Bugle.
Read all about it. The new
J.J. Jamison says he's a menace. But so I guess that's the press conferences. So let's get into a couple of games that I played that we didn't talk about. I played Strange Brigade from Rebellion.
Nice, yeah.
Oh, really?
Which we will be playing definitely as a group. It's really fun. I played it last year, and they definitely took some time and tuned it up. It was really good last year, but it looks really nice. The polish on it. I pretty much played a almost done version of the game.
Yeah.
Because it comes out, I think, in August.
Oh, nice!
And,
so pretty soon.
It's
the thing I love about it is it takes the stuff you like about a co-op game, as far as like everybody kind of has their roles and all that kind of stuff. But in case you don't know what it is, it's set in the 30s. It's a squad of really strange characters, like from different walks of life. Like there's one from like an African tribe. There's one that's like a priest from something, and they all have these weird eccentric stuff, and they all have powers, and they have all this stuff. And so you're fighting through areas, and there's a little mini games where you're kind of while you're playing, you're collecting treasure and all that. So you try to collect more treasure than the other people in your group, but you're still co-oping with each other. And there's stuff like zombies and mummies and all this stuff that come after you.
Interesting.
It's really fun. Like it's actually really, really fun.
So is it like a supernatural-ish, like Left 4 Dead type?
Kinda, and they have story. And I noticed that depending on which characters you choose, the cutscenes, it changes like some of the dialogue and some of the stuff. And
how many characters are there?
I don't know right now. I know. I think there's at least 5
that you've seen 6. So far.
Yeah, I know they're gonna have DLC for more characters and all that kind of stuff. So
okay, nice.
But it's very, the best way I can describe it, especially for a good chunk of the audience, is a very Indiana Jones-ish kind of feeling, like that vibe of that pulp serial 1930s.
Yeah,
like it's like welcome to Strange Brigade, like it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
God, I went in with Caleb. I think one of the guys was with me, and from Second Opinion Radio podcast, and he's a very vocal person when he plays games, and I went in blind. I wanted him not to know exactly what he's playing, and he was like, he kept, "Oh man, this is great! This is great! Oh my god, this is great! Whoa, holy crap, this is great!" And then my favorite part is he goes, "It's set in the 1930s, bro. That's awesome. That's the best part. It's in the 1930s." I was like, literally, that's the best part.
That's the best part.
That's funny.
So we razzed him for like the rest of the day. Is like, 1930s something, and I kept bringing up. You know what else happened in the 1930s? The Great Depression.
Yeah.
That's a great time. Why don't we make a game about that? What about the Dust Bowl? So,
Death Stranding looked pretty good, but it wasn't set in the 1930s.
It wasn't.
Big seller on my end,
Yeah.
That we know of. So, but yeah, it. Oh, you know what we did forget? We did forget Nintendo.
Oh, you talking about Super Smash Brothers, the conference?
Yeah.
Because I did not see the conference because I was out. I was in the Running of the Nerds 2018, waiting at the door for the gates to open to E3, and because everybody runs to Nintendo and Sony.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
didn't miss much.
I'm scheduled for Nintendo.
You didn't miss like anything.
Yeah.
But also, doesn't Nintendo have something else at E3, like called the Treehouse or whatever?
Yeah.
They did the Treehouse thing today, yeah.
I feel like that's where the majority of their announcements are going to come out of.
Well, they... Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Eric.
No, they... I can tell you what's on the show floor right now. It's like they have stuff like the sports games that they're showing, hey, we have sports. So they have like FIFA and Madden and all that kind of stuff. They have a huge thing for the Pikachu and Eevee. Hey you, whatever it is. Let's go. Thank you. It's been a long day, and I actually
hey you.
Actually, that was today because I was trying to get past the freaking giant Pikachu that they had there and a giant Eevee, and they were blocking my way to get to my lunch. And I was like, "Hey, you Pikachu, get the fuck out of my way!" But
did you punch him?
I wanted to. I was actually because somebody said in the press lunches are out, and we all just ran towards the lunches and pretty much almost killed Pikachu. But they have that. They have Smash Bros. They have the amazing props, though. I think I sent some pictures to you guys of the Smash Brothers props. I want to steal every one of them.
The punching bag.
Yeah, I just want to take it with me. The Star Fox helmet. By the way, I guess Star Fox has a really, really big head. Like Star Fox must be really big.
I don't think you saw that. I don't think you sent that one.
I'll have to send it to you later then. But his blaster's huge too. So I was like, I think Star Fox is bigger than a human. Which kind of freaked me out now. And then, like we'll get more into the show floor later. But there was a lot to see, and we're gonna have a lot more. Like I have a lot more playtime with other games.
Yeah.
But I think this is getting pretty long, and I've got a very long day tomorrow. Of bringing y'all scoops and. From J. Jonah Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
One of the interesting things though that has happened to me on this trip. Because I kind of want to, talk about that for a second. So last night I'm coming home. I had a meeting, and I'm walking through Koreatown where I'm staying at, and I see, we're from Texas. We've seen raccoons, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's no big deal. In the middle of LA, I've actually seen the two biggest raccoons I've ever seen in my entire life. They were sitting in a tree, yeah, and they were staring at me, and it kind of freaked me out because, like,
they're gonna eat you.
Yeah, I was like, and there was a lady that was standing behind a metal gate, screaming at him like It was like they were just looking at us, and I was just like, I'm gonna go by really quick. This is really extremely weird. So, it's definitely interesting staying in LA.
So did they eat the lady?
Yes, they did. and then I found out that it was actually Kojima, and it was an advertisement for Death Stranding. It was really weird.
Ingenious.
He's a genius. He's a marketing mastermind.
That
crazy
Kojima.
That definitely. So, guys, I think we're going to end it there. We'll get back in touch with each other, and we'll talk about the rest of the stuff that I've seen, and we'll talk about other stuff that you guys have seen, because, again, you guys sometimes see more than I do. And I want to thank everybody for listening, and let's go through the group. Where can they find you, Lindsey?
Again, thank you so much for letting me be on the podcast. This was awesome. First time go. I'm actually super excited. My name is Lindsey Gray. I'm a Twitch streamer. You can find me on basically all social media platforms at Lindsey Gray. That's LINZEEGRAY. I'm sure it'll be linked somewhere. I tend to stream on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and I play a lot of Final Fantasy 14. That's the MMO that I play, but I play a lot of other variety of games. So come hang out if you just want to hang and chill.
Okay, how about Ransom?
I have Twitter. It's
Twitter.
At not a hot dog man.
See,
but
I just want you to say it. That's the only reason I asked for it.
I'm sorry. This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Yeah, it's
his original. Tell her your original one.
It was.
The funny thing is, he loves hot dogs.
I don't like hot dogs. That was the whole point of the username, was that I was like, I don't like hot dogs, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not a hot dog man. I'm gonna make that my Twitter.
Yeah, but what was your original?
Yeah,
name?
I'm not very active on it. I'm gonna try and be more active, because I'm also gonna try and stream. But
I love how it's a question. I'm gonna try to stream.
Yeah.
and you're avoiding my question, actually.
What?
You're avoiding my question because she wants to know what your original name was.
My original one was the first three letters of my first name, the first three letters of my middle name, and the first three letters of my last name. So it was Ran Jam Sin.
I thought it was fart, but that's good. Either way works.
But that's not it anymore. It's not.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Well, I just found somebody that has the name I'm Not a Hot Pocket, so I think y'all just need to collaborate.
Ooh, maybe we can set you two up. Yeah.
I think that would be great.
You need to find I'm Not a Bun Woman, and we're really good.
and then make a game called I'm Not a Game.
Yes. So, and Mike, where can they find you?
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on Xbox and PlayStation, all at Silverhawks, no vowels.
Okay.
SLVRHWKS.
So, guys, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight, and I know y'all had to stay up a little late, and I had to basically prop myself up against a wall after 3 days of constantly
tape
moving.
Your eyelids open.
Oh, good God! I have to be up at 6 a.m. again.
Oh, dang!
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's hard to complain. Like, you go, oh, I went to E3. Oh, woe is me. Like, you can't do that. But at the same time, you're exhausted. It is a constant moving train that you have no control of. So, hey guys, everyone listening, thank you so much for listening, and make sure to check us out on Apple Podcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, TuneIn Radio, all that kind of stuff. Make sure to go in and like anything we post. Go in, make comments, share. We like sharing. Sharing is caring. And yes, and again, thank you so much for listening, and we really appreciate all of our listeners. And as always, achieve greatness.